So there we were, the USSR was kicked out of the League of Nations like a party crasher who just wouldn't leave, and Russia was all about isolation. This made Western nations clutch their pearls and have a collective panic attack about communism. As a result, Europe was like that group project where everyone has a different idea, leading to a totally fragmented response to the rising totalitarian regimes. Only the Europeans could turn a crisis into a bureaucratic mess. Meanwhile, Germany was experiencing hyperinflation like it was a new sport. Who can inflate the price of bread the fastest? Spoiler alert, they did. This economic roller coaster ride didn't just give people indigestion, it created societal unrest and helped extremist political parties pop up like mushrooms after the rain. Talk about a political landscape that looked more like a minefield than a garden. Enter Mussolini, strutting into Italy with all the grace of a peacock and the subtlety of a marching band. His rise to power, along with the expansionist dreams of fascist regimes, was like watching a bad soap opera, very dramatic and totally alarming. This was the prelude to military conflicts that would soon have everyone booking their tickets to World War II. Then came the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, which was basically Germany and the USSR shaking hands and saying, let's be friends, but we get to split Eastern Europe like it's a last slice of pizza. This sneaky agreement allowed Germany to invade Poland without worrying about a Soviet knock, who's there? Moment. Talk about strategic planning. With the fall of France, Hitler decided to set his sights on Britain like it was an unwatched Netflix series. This resulted in the Battle of Britain, where the skies were lit up with aerial bombardments. And yet, the resilient British defenses were like that annoying gym buddy who refuses to give up. They forced Germany to rethink its strategies, proving that sometimes, the underdog can pack quite the punch. As if that wasn't enough, Italy started floundering in North Africa and Greece like a fish out of water. Mussolini's grand dreams of expansion hit a wall, and suddenly Germany had to play the role of the big brother coming to rescue its hapless ally. It was like watching a sitcom, but with less laugh track and more military uniforms. Then there was the blitzkrieg strategy of Germany, which was less about tea and crumpets and more about capturing millions of soldiers. They were on a mission to exterminate perceived enemies, employing brutal tactics that made everyone gasp in horror and disbelief. Just when you thought the war couldn't get any more intense, the bar was raised. Then, in a plot twist that nobody saw coming, Japan decided to wake up the United States with a surprise attack on Pearl Harbor. This moment was like calling in the cavalry, urging the US to jump on the Allies' bandwagon and shake up the Pacific War. Talk about a game changer. Resistance movements began popping up in occupied Europe, and they were as varied as your college roommate's taste in music. In the West, you had non-violent protests, while in the East, guerrilla tactics were the name of the game. This showcased the widespread opposition against Axis powers and proved that not everyone was a fan of the bad guys in this historical drama. The Tehran Conference rolled around, and the Allied leaders convened like they were strategizing for the ultimate escape room. This meeting was pivotal for coordinating efforts against Axis powers and planning the post-war order, setting the stage for future agreements. It was like a strategic powwow on a grand scale. After the dust settled from World War II, which, spoiler alert, resulted in an estimated 75 million deaths, the global landscape underwent a major makeover. The devastation turned demographics and politics upside down, especially in Europe and Asia. Civil unrest was the cherry on top of this tragic sundae, as many countries tried to figure out what in the world just happened. In an effort to ensure this kind of chaos never happened again, the creation of the United Nations and other international organizations was like an adulting 101 class for world leaders. This marked a shift towards multilateralism in global governance, aiming to promote peace instead of panicking over the next global crisis. Let's hope they take their homework seriously this time.